Welcome to week 16, the final week, everybody. I'm looking at my final project, which is that recipe site. And as you can see, we've got some good progress last week. We've got a print button, we've got some comments. This week we're going to have to do a few more things, specifically to the admin. I've got this admin folder in here. I've got a table, RAC admin, that actually has my username and encrypted password already. And in this first video, I am going to allow myself to log in. So this should be a little bit of a review for you. And I'm going to go, this is my index. And initially, I'm just going to go and do a form action. And this is simply to log in. So we'll have several videos again, and we'll end up finishing the entire recipe site this week. So here's my form, and I will have my username, and I'll have an input type equals text. My name can be username, and I'll just self-close that, and then I'll do my password. And we'll get to the logic in a little bit, but my input type will be password here. And of course I will upload the script for you guys to use if you want to use it. So the name can be password. Okay, so now we just need a submit button. So a lot of repetition here. If you get good at this, we can experiment with other ways as you move forward. So input type equals submit, name equals submit, and this should be a value of login. There we go. And now up above, I'm going to make sure that on my connection script, which is right here, I'm going to make sure that the connection has a session. So since we included the connection, let's make sure there's a session on every single script that uses that connection. Excuse me, I out of habit opened up FileZilla. We'll close that. So I have a session start on that connection. And now what I can do is grab the submit button and make it equal to submit. And if it happens to be equal to login, if submit is equal to login, then what we're going to do is set a session. Actually test to see the username and password. So we'll do username equals underscore post, and we'll do username, and we'll do password equals underscore post password. And now it's time to call the database. If you recall, I have a database with admin and my password, which I think was just admin as well. I tried to make it easy from what I remember. And now what we're going to do is prepare our statement, and it would be select. And when you log in, what you might want to do is select count. And that's a little bit faster. So let's count username. We don't need all the values. We could just say, let's say we wanted to expend some energy. I'll let you guys decide how you want to do it. But if I select username from REC underscore admin, then I can show them that they're logged in by saying you were logged in as a username. And that has a UX benefit. So we'll do where username equals, and we'll do the question mark. We'll bind these values because the data is coming from the form. So both the username and the password need to be equal, which means that we need to do a SHA-1 around the post password. That's what we did last week. A lot of review here, so again, this week is going to be probably pretty busy for me, but I'll try to answer questions as they come in. So let's do SQL equals that connection, and now I can bind the two values. SQL bind value, and we'll do the one as username. Of course, that needs to be a string. Whoops, it's PDO, double colon. That is the recall parent for object-oriented programming. You should learn that in WebD 166. So I'm going to do param str. So basically we're saying PDO param string. And I can do the same thing with my password, which is the encrypted version of what I submitted. Anyway, so now I have this, I can execute it. I'll bind value. Oh, excuse me, let me execute. Get some noisy neighbors right now. So anyway, now that this is executed, let's grab the value. It's going to be 1. We don't need to loop or anything like that, but I can do SQL results, something like that, equals SQL fetch, and this will get me the row, hopefully. And now I can say something like username, uname equals scalar SQL results, and this will be username from the database. So basically, if scalar uname is equal to scalar username, which we would know that it would be, then we're good, because username equals what came from the database, and this came from the form. So it's just another layer of protection for us. And what we can do is say something like session admin is equal to authorized. Okay, so let's see if this works. And just for kicks, let's go welcome. Yeah, most of my stuff doesn't work in the first try if you haven't noticed. So let's do session. Whoopsie, that's an underscore. Session admin. Oh, we'll just do username. Welcome username. Let's add another session that equals the username if it all goes down. So we'll do username, and that way if the user wants to comment on his own stuff, he can, or however you want to do it. I mean, I think you hopefully see what I'm trying to achieve here. I'm saying that, hey, I'm actually going to run this so that the username has a value. I'm basically saying, hey, if you're the username and you have a password that when I SHA-1 that password matches, we're a go. So let's go ahead and try it. Now I think my login is admin and admin. Let's log in and see what happened. Okay, so what I'm going to do is change my actual password here because I don't know what it is. So what I'm going to do is update my REC admin, and I'm going to set the password to be equal to SHA-1 admin, just like that. Now I don't need to do a where statement because there's no ID here. This is just a holder table of one username and password. So let's do that. And now I have one row affected, and it is the same value. So let's do admin, and if it doesn't work, we will troubleshoot. And it does not seem to be working, so what we need to do is do a couple things first. We're going to echo your username. This is what I would do. I would attack the problem, which is that we apparently don't have the matching username and password. Your username is, and your password is, and I can do the encrypted password, which is password. So the idea here is to visually see what got entered, and that's how I can troubleshoot it. So we can refresh here, and I can click continue, and I have your admin is admin and your password is password. Now if you look right here, my admin is actually admin, and my user password is this. So the next step, as I go through this, and I've done a lot of troubleshooting in my career just because I've had a lot of students. So that is the best way to do it. Go through every step and see if it's all functional. So right now, select username from RC, where username equals that and password equals the SHA password. Well, the next step is to print R on the execution and see if I screwed up on my SQL query. So I know these videos can tend to be boring, but if you look at the troubleshooting techniques, they're going to be very beneficial for you. So you see this HY093? That is our issue. So again, remember last week I did that? That is always the bind value. So I bound the value 1 to password, and because I did the print R, it's working fine. Now I can hit this, and it says welcome username. Now, welcome username is another problem. It should be session username. Session username should be equal to scalar username. So we are just fixing my carelessness here, but we should be good. If I hit refresh again, it should say welcome admin. That is my username. So what we're going to do in this case is the last thing we're going to do is say if the person is logged in, don't show the form. So basically, if scalar underscore session, and I'm going to remove this post thing. If scalar underscore session admin, if that does not, actually only if it does not equal authorized, what we're going to do is not show the form. So if it's not equal to authorized, or if then we show the form, that means it's basically like a login. So we'll shut this off, and then we'll open up PHP again below, and we'll close that condition. So now we'll close the condition for that, and when I do this, we'll have that value, and you see the form. And the last thing we need to do is basically, let's say welcome session, and I'll echo out a link that says ahref equals logout.php. So it's nothing more than what you've already seen here. And I'm going to actually, we'll do a single quote here, but I'll do else, an else down here. Because my plan is to have the forms that are going to control this section above. So I don't need this anymore either, but I'll leave it in there for you guys. And we're at 11 minutes on this video, so the next thing is to go to Logout and create a session destroy function. So I'm going to actually hit a break tag here. You can see I have very little aesthetics. I don't want to bog you down with that. So if we do this, we have logout, and we can do welcome here. So we're separating our functionality, and when I hit refresh now, you see welcome admin. So the logout, I'm going to do it real quick in the same video so we can get the session protection aspect of this over with. So inside admin, I'm going to create a new script in Sublime, and we're just going to save it in there, and that will destroy our sessions. So we're getting there. This is, let's make sure we're in final project. Good. This is be called logout.php. And basically, question mark, PHP session start and session destroy. And we can just header location, and we'll go back to the index.php only because it gives the user some comfortability that they've been logged out. So like here I am, I'm logged in, hit log out, and you see it returns me back to index.php. So that's our session protection, password protection for the admin. Now the next video I'm going to give myself the ability to add posts.